Everybody, what's up? Have you ever seen the social media post that says, we'll send you a free CD, all you have to pay for is shipping? I recommend checking out a lot of those bands when you do that. Some of them be on Spotify, I think, Amazon Music. I don't use Spotify, different platforms. And one of the artists that I did find was Andy Juhl, and I got his CD, Go Where the Sun Goes. And I really like this CD. And I thought, was it the Ice Caves and another album, which I just bought digitally because I wanted to see how it went before I actually purchased a physical copy. And I love physical copies of CDs and that, primarily because of the fact that when you play, like stuff from Amazon, wherever, I can't really feel the music. Now, you're probably going, well, what are you talking about? You can't feel the music. As some people know, I do have some hearing loss. And I enjoy being able to feel the music while I'm in my car. Something I can't get off of an MP3 player or anything like that, even my phone. Lyrically, Andy does a great job. The prog music that he plays is great. And he does use a lot of different instruments for both he and his band, which is something I really like. And on social media, I did actually find a post where he is recording a song in an old silo, which was phenomenal because the acoustics were really great. So if you're ever looking for prog music, if it's something you like, check it out. Now he's also labeled as having the genre of farm prog. If you don't know what that is, well, I've never heard the term before until he mentioned it. Farm prog is basically where I guess he grew up in a certain area where there's a lot of farms, and Eddie's actually from Iowa, which is known for soybeans as well as corn, mainly corn. So yes, now, I did not get the CD once again. He is not associated with his family, direct friend, or anything like that. He's a cool guy, though. If you listen to his music, listen to him talk on one podcast. I have to look up what it was. Let me see here. I'm going to see if I can bring it up. It is, oh, crud, I can't find it now. It was a farm podcast. Let me see if I can get in my history while I'm talking about this. So ultimately, it's one of those things, like I said, if you want to check out his music first before we get a copy of it, I would go for that. And it's not showing up on my media for some reason. That is weird. History. Okay, hold on. It is Audible Farm number 242. So yes, you can even go in there, check it out. He does talk about his music. Is there anything that I can find wrong about his music? No, not really, because of the fact that it just is wonderful. He released a song called Ice Caves, which is a really long song, which I like that because sometimes for me, short music, depending on my mood, doesn't always do it. Is there anything in which, hey, you can change this or whatever? Absolutely not. So I definitely recommend checking out his music. If you can find his ad on social media, go ahead and buy it. Even if you want, you can go and purchase it through his website, which I'll post a link below. But I just really recommend getting this first and paying for the shipping. You'll probably fall in love like I did. He does play a lot of different places around Iowa. I did find out that he played in one city which is close to me. Yes, I will admit I am the state of Iowa. That's all I'm going to say. That's actually another reason why I picked up his music and why I like the title of Farm Rock, because he's close to home. So with that being said, like I said, I'll post a link to his website below. Talk to y'all later. Take care.